Peter, that there's not enough coaches that are actually good coaches. And they're not bad people. They just don't have any experience. And I think it's too bad for the kids. And of course, then the issue is apparently winning is the only benchmark. And from parents' point of view. But this program I'm coaching in, their Bantam team won 3 games last year in the district, 3 out of, I don't know, 18 or something. They didn't have a goalie. They had to borrow a goalie for every game. The B team wasn't any better. And my Pee Wee A team actually was quite a bit better than that, but had not been previously. And so it's going to be interesting to see. Again, the bar is pretty low.
Yeah.
Expectations are extremely low, which I like, because we will exceed expectations by a significant amount, and the kids will have a lot of fun, and they'll get better. I mean, you can't make chicken soup out of chicken shit, but you can at least dress it up, and you can give them some skills so they can play the game a little bit better and have fun doing it. I learned a long time ago. I ran a skating school. When my son started to play hockey, he didn't start till he was 9 years old, and so I had to teach him how to skate at 6 a.m. And he was on a C team, squirt C team, and they weren't teaching the kids anything there. So I started with him at 6 a.m. and cut a deal with the local rink for $5 a kid. It showed up, and we started with 3, and then eventually that morphed into a much bigger program with like over 100 kids over a couple of years. But one of the things about, and Wally says I'm big on skating, but one of the reasons I am is because how important it is, but the kids know they're getting better. And if you know you're getting better, if you intrinsically say, well, I can do this now, I couldn't do that before. And oh, by the way, I'm not on a C team anymore, I'm now on a B team. So that the learning progression is so good if it's done correctly, that kids get better so fast. And I mean, I wasn't a great skater by any means. I got pretty good though, teaching power skating. I got doing all that demonstrating. But I just, when I pick up a team like this team I've got, not going to have, I'm going to look and see what 3 things I can focus on that'll have the greatest impact on their ability to play the hockey game. And we'll just lean in on that, because I can't teach them everything. There's not enough time. And make sure they have fun doing it. And that's all about team culture and all that stuff. And I hope I'll get Sean Goodsell involved. We'll see if he's around here in the fall. He wants. So we'll do that leadership stuff. Yeah, I think, Peter, you'd like that, didn't you? Captains, that stuff. I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, that'll be a difference maker for you for sure.
Yeah. Part of what I like to do is, with every team, I want them to have a different experience than they've ever had. Right? In a positive way, right? And in probably the last 10 years or 12 years, I've tried to solicit from the players their input on that experience and what they want. When I went back to the high school job that I'd already retired from, that first year, the team was actually pretty good, and we played 25 games. But when we'd won our 14th game, they quit playing. I mean, I couldn't get them any further. And I thought they could have won 17 or 18 games out of the 25. And in the exit interviews with one of the seniors, I said, hey, Tom, what's the deal? Oh, he goes, the 3 years you were gone, we only won 4 games. And our goal this year was to be respectable. I went, okay. Well, when we hit 14 wins, we felt we've achieved our goal. And that was kind of it. So that was a big lesson for me. Is, what is our goal? What are we trying to accomplish here? And, and they were respectable, and they had a great experience, and they had fun. And the seniors, there were a bunch of seniors on that team, and heading off to college to, the next chapter of their lives. So mission accomplished. I actually didn't know what the mission was. So,
Wow.
Well, that's incredible. They achieved great success. They felt respected, and
Yeah.
you felt they plateaued after that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting because to parents and to many coaches, it's all about winning,
Yeah.
and respectability is a step to winning, and it's really interesting. The soccer that's been going on, the trouble the U.S. men's team has had,
Yep.
and the success that Canada's soccer team has had. Now the expectations are higher.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's world class professional soccer. And
Yep.
the complaint of the American Canadian guy coaching the Canadian team, he loves coaching up here because he feels that Soccer Canada allows him to do things the right way. He feels respected,
Mm-hmm.
and he's coaching and motivating them. The struggles that the USA team is having come from that lack of synergy organizationally, filtering into the inability of the coach to be himself and the players to be themselves. So I've been editing video of the World Soccer Championships of the Canadian team, but particularly the coach Jesse Marsh, the American who's coaching, and editing actually all of the interviews that are held with him after the games. And I'm going to be posting them because they're brilliant. We had a British coach, John Herdman, take the women to a gold medal. And now the women's program has respectability and won championships.
Nice.
So the goal of the Canadian men's team, the fact they got to the semifinals in the Copa Cup, was a major achievement. But the quote from Jesse March is, now he has higher expectations for 2026. And I think that's good for the players. They've gotten past the respectability stage to the point now where they could be distracted by the winning stage. But I think a good coach can keep that respect, keep everything in perspective here. Just be the best you can be every day and get better at everything. So,
well, we all make mistakes coaching, but I mean, with every team every year, and I always apologize for those at the parent meeting at the beginning of the season, and just promise we're going to do the best we can for the kids and the team, and we will make some mistakes. As well as the players make mistakes, referees make mistakes, and it's just part of the environment that we play in. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you wish you could make a decent living doing it, but that's not the reality because, people reward winners, defined just as winning championships. And unfortunately, in every league, there's only one of those every year. And, does that mean everybody else is a failure? I don't think so. So anyways, hey boys, 11:41 here in actually very nice Minnesota now. The weather's gotten pretty good. So
Okay. Well, listen, before we sign off, I've got it's a John Wooden line. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. He won. And he won more than anybody, but he never talked about winning.
oh,
Everything he talked about was, being your best and what it takes.
oh,
So you spend more time on the process, leading to more success. And the idea of you never win or lose, you either win or learn, he pushed that to the limit and won more championships than anybody. So I think that's the perspective. Says
oh,
you can the people that you've coached and all of us have coached over the years. We can run into them on the street or in a shopping mall,
oh,
and they'll greet you
absolutely.
because they know they got better. If you were fortunate enough to win some championships, and I'm sure you all have, that's a bonus. And yeah, there's a little bit more of a excitement when you meet them when you have won a championship. But I think with every team I've coached and every sport I've coached, I've had, you talk about getting paid and getting enough money to do it. I'll tell you what, the greatest pay is happening right now. When those people greet you and say thank you, and that's a payback because you've made a difference,
Yep.
and you don't need to be told that. You are. You're doing things the right way for the right reason. Tom, before we close, you did something at your hockey school where you decided before the school started to go over and visit a local restaurant where there was a father running the restaurant whose son was, I think, drafted fairly high in the NHL playing at Medicine Hat. And it's sort of about the payback of what you do and how you do it and when you coach. Tom, can you relate that story here for everybody? And I lived through it at your camp when this gentleman came forward with a gift. Go ahead.
Well, what happened? Andrew Basha plays for Medicine Hat. He was drafted second round by the Flames. He was ranked, late first or early second. So he was in the. So, anyways, it's only about 6 blocks from the rink the hockey camp's in. And I thought, well, I'm going to go congratulate Richard because I've known him for a long time. So, anyways, about 20 years ago, I was coaching Mount Royal and I was doing the hockey camps, and we had 100 a week at them for a few weeks. He's a high-end chef, I guess, and he was trying to have a fancy restaurant, but it wasn't going that well. So he was converting it to a small pub. Of course, now he can't have any customers. So what I did is I said, I'll tell you what, why don't, if you supply the lunches for the hockey camp, and then he just would bring them over there, and he did that for a couple of weeks, and he had a little bit of money coming in. So anyways, after he saw me and he, came and he bought me a beer, he's talking, he says, I'm going to repay you for that 20 years ago when you helped me out. So I'm going to supply, he found out how many kids and coaches were at the camp. And he supplied pizza and wraps and chicken, whatever. But he brought the lunch over himself, and you were there, Wally.
Yeah.
And he said, no cost. I said, how much? He said, no cost, just for a thank you for what you did 20 years ago. So that was kind of neat.
Great story.
Anyway, the kids will thank you when they're young adults. And when they are married and have families, they're going to be better parents for it. So
Yep.
we know that. So to anybody coaching out there, just do things the right way. It doesn't matter how much you get paid. It matters whether you win or lose, but
Oh, yeah.
it's how you try to win, knowing only one person's going to win. Do things the right way and keep her going.